this one on the schedule, and I immediately wanted to watch it, wanted to be part of it. I'm very excited for it. Both these runners at 3-0, catching a lot of folks by surprise so far. saiontea so far has gotten through Dark Shadows 59 last round. Prior to that, Zenobian, and before that, Dragon Strike 1988. capttenneal's come through Sailor Jade, after Dante, after Duke Firebird.
It looks like we're underway here. So here's 20 rupees in Link's house. Nobody's surprised by that particular confluence of events.
Yeah, but having a little bit of early money for CAC, never a bad thing. What do you think we're going to get at the Uncle today?
Well, let's see. I think it's been a while since I've seen a hammer.
Wow, I was leaning that way too. But I'll say it's a bomb escape then, if hammer's already taken.
Well, all right.
Because you never want the table with both people ordering the same entree.
Well, how about a red cane?
So, okay, saiontea getting very aggressive.
We got
and hit that 8 bomb drop.
Bomb drop, and okay, there's the hammer. That counts.
Shrug. I guess that can happen. All the other chests are in fact randomized, so we aren't going to see any sort of magic concerns. The runners are going to be able to wham and slam the enemies with the hammer all the way through the escape. It's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the hammer has a much higher damage value than the plain old sword. Unfortunately, it is a little more difficult to use on account of that hitbox, but you do what you do.
I don't know anyone who truly understands the hammer hitbox. I think we all kind of understand it situationally, know how to use the hammer when it is that we are, inclined to do so. But there are times where it just confounds me.
Yeah, and I think, no lie here, it's going to be, I think the answer to how the hitbox works is worse than you think. I believe that is the answer.
It's not better than I think it is, because I think it's almost acceptable, and it's not that. But with 8 bombs already in hand, I think we're going to see minimal farming through this escape, and it's just going to be movement-based execution for the first few minutes here. So that's actually really, really nice to see early on, especially with a weapon like the hammer.
Yeah, and there's a lot of little tricks you can do to sort of speed yourself up here. For example, in the room Captain just went through, the diagonal movement there is generally pretty good. You kind of want to avoid hitting the corner there, but other than that, that's what you want to go for.
Yeah, we just saw capttenneal coming down off the stairs here toward Ball and Chain, kind of stutter just a bit, getting some stair lag. I'll have to watch as saiontea gets the top, not of this stairwell, because buffering right is pretty much what all runners are going to do, but the next stairwell where they want to go down here. And looks like they did do that direct left input where you see capttenneal stutter a little bit. Looks like saiontea has maybe a little bit more familiarity with some of the nuances of movement.
Yeah, you're talking past me at this point.
So the way stair lag works is if you're holding sort of straight ahead or not left or right directly, so a forward diagonal from the stair exit or forward, you'll see the Link stutter a little bit like we saw in saiontea's. It's about 1/3 of a second, costs about 20 frames. If you hold right or left, you'll kind of smoothly snap right out of the stairwell and can move at full speed.
Interesting.
And so it's little movement optimizations that can really early on, especially in a sort of a pure movement escape like this, give you some insight into sort of the overall movement familiarity in the game of the runners. And so we saw saiontea go diagonal on those stairs, stair diagonals faster than floor diagonals, whereas capttenneal moved left before hitting that stairwell in the throne room. And so I think saiontea maybe is just a little more well read up on movement, and so wouldn't be surprised to see them maintain this lead through Sanctuary because of how movement dependent this section is.
we've got some discussion in chat about the drop rates and things here. So the way it generally works is the order in which you get the drops from all of the enemies, or enemies of the same type, will be the same between these two, but the number of kills may be different. That part is not standardized.
Yeah, the enemy drops. The enemies are grouped into prize packs, and the drops are grouped into prize packs. And I believe each prize pack has 8 drops in it, and they will cycle over and over, but certain enemy prize packs will have a 50% chance of dropping and some will have a 100% chance of dropping. And so the Green Guard prize pack, as it turned out in this seed, was randomized to have an 8 bomb drop very early on. And so those are 50% drops, but both of the runners saw them early on.
All right, so we got the cape and a bottle here in the back of escape chest. The cape, of course, makes you think about that wonderful Aghanim play. And by wonderful, I mean that in very heavy air quotes.
The heaviest of air quotes, Dr. Bobtastic. That cape is absolutely the harbinger of Aghanim, and so a lot of runners very sad to see that cape early on. But we're still a lamp and a sword upgrade away from Aghanim being an option, and saiontea finding the map. We'll see if capttenneal realizes that he does not have the map yet, or if no, he's going to navigate by Sticky Priest and go right for it. But doesn't get too stuck on the priest, so that's good. That's a mistake that I make very, very frequently, getting a sanctuary chest with a map in it.
Oh yeah, me too. It's hard to remember if you got the burrito or not. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and sometimes I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is the map, but I'm going to spend 3 seconds just for the peace of mind.
Right. There is always that possibility you could leave something behind there thinking it's the map. And that's probably worse.
Absolutely worse. The tier 2 pull, just green rupees here. More like a vanilla tier 1 pull. We'll see if the runners decide to check the tier 1 or tier 3 pulls, and the bush quarter is only 5 arrows.
Yeah. We're going to want to see... You know, they have bombs right now, and basically all the money they could want for the rest of the seed will usually come from chests or drops, although some of that money is stuck on the lumberjack cave, and they're not going to want to bother with that.
So I like what we just saw from capttenneal, using the bush to kill one of the Lost Woods pickles, the Cuke men.
Yeah.
That's probably setting up for that tier 1 pull on the exit from this little hole here with the Quake medallion.
Yeah, that's something I like to do myself. All right, so Quake acquired by both of our runners. capttenneal going to pull the... Ooh. Well, there's 4 bombs a piece, so 16 total from tier 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, tier 1, a pretty tough one to... It's quick to set up if you've already done a pull, but not the most useful just in knowing that it's there and passing by. I don't think we'll be seeing any more tree pulls, but if the runners do get into bomb trouble sometime down the road, capttenneal now has that knowledge.
I don't think bomb trouble is happening. Look at that.
Yeah, we are capped at 10 bombs, so those bombs just go into waste, but the runners will be able to clear Kakariko.
Yeah, no problems there. I am going to go ahead and say that our tracker is the best because they caught a map check that I did not even see.
Yeah, I'm here just talking about tree pulls and prize packs and all sorts of esoteric stuff. Wolflink in the background. Shout outs to Wolflink. Always does a good job tracking, doing the real good work here, making sure that we know Light World is all crystals, and that's actually a great sign. That could substantially reduce the sort of the space of items the runners need to find in order to access Go mode.
So there's the book and the ether medallion in the well. And speaking of the book, we're talking about crystals. Desert is one of the 5/6s, so that's doubly important. Oh, ooh. And we've got the lamp from the bottle vendor.
We're a sword away. The Aghanim index is rising.
There is that. Like, so if you found the sword at, say, the race game, would you just do Aga?
No, not with hammer and now hookshot in the chicken hut for saiontea. I would absolutely not be doing that because they're still a glove away from being able to really do anything. They're a glove away from Dark World access, and with 2 glove upgrades out there,
Well, there's
I would
one.
be inclined. Oh,
It's on the sick kid.
well. So now we're a moon pearl
Yeah.
away.
So now I am in. If the Moon Pearl is the one thing I'm missing for Dark World access, I am incredibly disinclined to do Aghanim until I have to, because that's one location where the Moon Pearl could be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's moon pearl on pyramid is and I don't think we'll see either runner get there ahead of clearing all of the things they can do in Light World.
And it seems as though I was mistaken. It looks like Eastern Palace is the 5/6 crystal.
I didn't even see the little asterisk there, but yeah, it does look like Eastern, which of course we need the bow for. And I guess capttenneal has said that he does want to see the bow early, so we'll find out if that comes true.
Well, we now have the best item, so we can call it good now.
I'm glad we agree. And saving and quitting for saiontea, I'm surprised saiontea didn't walk back up and immediately do the magic bat.
You know, to be honest, that's the sort of thing you don't really think about. It's like, oh, I have the hammer.
Yeah, as soon as I get hammer, my index for powder is suddenly rising, and as soon as I see it, I'm like, if I'm anywhere near CAC, I want that magic bat ASAP. We'll see if capttenneal goes for it. And it looks like he might be headed back up there. We'll see if it pays off. Meanwhile, saiontea looking to be headed for the mini Moldorm Cave.
All right, so mini Moldorm Cave, and it looks like this happened first, and I can tell you why. Because he's got the book. So you're probably thinking route mini Moldorm Cave, then go back to Dam, then go to Desert.
Yeah, and this is a really nice routing choice. saiontea, without the flips, without the Moon Pearl, without $500, doesn't really want to go to Ice Rod Cave and head up to Zora's Domain. It's much more item sparse. Getting through here, getting over to Desert seems like the order, with that being complete.
Captain is doing the bat thing.
I like seeing it, and just a big 20. But I like the thought process that got capttenneal there.
Oh yeah, just taking care of that right now. So it looks like saiontea is going to go check out the Ice Rod Cave.
Okay, so I'm surprised skipping Dam. It might be a save and quit to Dam and then Agina and then Desert.
Yeah, that might be a possibility.
That's also a really nice early sequencing, because it doesn't leave this as a loose square over here at Ice Rod Cave, and of course, you know, nothing happening there, just a piece of heart.
That's how Ice Rod Cave works.
Yeah.
It's never anything when you check it the first time.
I hope we don't see saiontea have to check Ice Rod Cave a second time, unless they find the boots and are setting up a water walk from over there for some reason.
All right, so capttenneal deals with the dam. It's going to head to mini Moldorm Cave as well. Just the whole South Light World area has been kind of devoid of cool stuff.
They got everything in Kakariko.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Kakariko was so loaded. There has to be, you know, some blank area, and so I'm not too shocked. I think we will probably see something in Desert.
Yeah, when you see the book that early, if there's not something in Desert, then you've gotten yourself into a fairly improbable situation.
Yeah, at worst, it gives you a reason to come over here and do an Agina check. And that's something that most runners want to put off until they absolutely have to be over here. Like, until it's this or Moon Pearl on Pyramid.
Right. I personally like to put off going into the cave until I've actually been into desert proper. Mainly because I like to save and quit from Agina's cave.
I'm also a fan of that line. I think that that's probably how I would have chosen to route this one. But then again, right now, the ability to deal with the landmo in desert it's a little dicey. So, it could be worth checking here just to look for an easier easier out to landmo than, say, bombs.
Yeah, like hammer strats. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Well, there's a shovel.
What do you think we're gonna dig up today? Is it gonna be a moon pearl? Some dirty flips?
Who knows? Could be vanilla flute.
That would actually be really nice. A vanilla flute off of that shovel.
Now, here's the thing I'm not surprised about one bit. Capttenneal, we have the glove and the lamp and the hook shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're not on Death Mountain, what are you doing?
And the hammer. This is super item dense with, I think it's 11 accessible items at this point to if you include the ether tablet check that he can do.
Yeah, he can at least look at it, yeah.
Yeah, which that's as good as getting it almost all of the time.
Correct. Now, when we saw saiontea head into desert, we saw a big 20 in the one chest that's accessible, meaning desert is in fact boots locked. Means we're gonna need to find those boots.
If this shovel digs up something juicy, that could be a big gain for saiontea here. I mean, at risk of speaking the obvious, but depending on what Death Mountain returns here for capttenneal, if there's progress or Dark World access, it might be a while before that desert ledge becomes a thing on capttenneal's side. So we'll find out. So far, capttenneal's additional check of the bat didn't turn up anything. We'll see if digging here in the grove pays off for saiontea.
All right, dig time. We've got a sword.
Okay, that is actually really, really nice.
Unless it makes him go to Aga. But he won't go to Aga. Why would you go to Aga when you've got Death Mountain open to you?
Yeah, you're not heading to Aga until Hera's done with at this point, and it's not impossible that we'll see another sword up here. There's a lot of item locations here in Death Mountain. So far, nothing, but we are coming into the juicy part of Paradox Cave here, the upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also the ground level.
Yeah, it's the mezzanine, I guess. What?
What does it mean? Let's see what we get. Just some cash. A heart. Okay.
Fire Rod is a solid pickup.
Yeah. Doesn't enable Hera because they already had the lamp. But that's a very nice find. Mm-hmm. So, not the Paradox Cave that's going to drive him away from Aghanim, but it's a good one. It's a good one to have out of the way.
Okay, so here's the best idea that I've had so far. Ready? So another sword in Hera, Moon Pearl on the ether tablet.
That would be very, very kind to these runners.
Well, it'd be kind to one of them. Because Captain doesn't have the first sword.
Yeah, but just knowing it's there, because then I don't put it to Captain to say, okay, I need to do Aghanim to get second sword on Pyramid.
Yeah, probably.
That
also,
I
just kind of want to see what the text for the Moon Pearl is. I mean, I could go look it up, but
what's the fun in that?
Yeah, exactly.
All these cryptic messages that were edited into this game by the Rando devs are pretty fantastic.
So Captain went ahead and did Spiral Cave first. And we'll probably head back up through Paradox Cave to check Hera. I'm not sure if that's the route I would have taken, but sometimes you just feel like getting more stuff before you head into dungeons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot like Agena before or after Desert on saiontea's side. I think that I would have been inclined to get over to Hera first, but it's not a major loss, and it's possible if somehow he ends up with full access and wants to end up over in, say, Spike Cave from the route, that this routing pays off better, and he isn't left with Spiral Cave as a loose end.
Very true. All right, so capttenneal is going to go ahead and take a look at what's on the Ether tablet. Spike Cave's in logic once we get the Moon Pearl. Just couch cash.
Yeah, with Hammer, and if Moon Pearl's found here in its vanilla location, Hookshot Cape. I mean, Hookshot doesn't play into it, but yeah, the runners are set for a Spike Cave check as an option with Moon Pearl. So it's worth considering. I don't blame capttenneal for thinking about that as a possible line. It doesn't involve him to go like Miracle 2 for 2 on Hera, and saiontea getting dead rocked pretty hard there. See,
Gross.
Yeah, those dead rocks are just the scum of Death Mountain, unfortunately.
And they're basically one of the main reasons, half of the reason that the powder is the best item in the game.
I'm underutilizing powder then, because I love powder because I'm scrub tier and I powder the crap out of things to keep myself from dying. But I don't think I really ever powdered the dead rocks.
You have to powder them before you hit them. But if you do that, it turns them into a little jelly dude. You can just kill them.
Yeah, I've seen it done. I just never have found myself of mind to actually do it.
Yeah, it's not generally something you want to do if you can't. But sometimes I like to have the powder out in case one of them just really gets in my way. Captain is going to go ahead and take a death warp here.
And I think this ends up with like +2 hearts, but also saves him the travel time, so this was a good heads-up play by Captain. And saiontea kind of right on his heels. saiontea sort of plus the desert check at this point, minus the magic bat check.
Right.
So it's not, Captain with a sort of well-defined lead, but just a little ahead in Hera at this point. But the runner's fairly even to this point. And that's something I expect to see a lot of as we're into now round 4 of the Swiss in this tournament and ongoing. 7 rounds of Swiss. The matches are only going to get better and better as players' brackets kind of get narrower and narrower in terms of skill, and some of that variance from the early rounds rounds out. I'm super excited to see the back half of this tournament.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be just great.
And capttenneal taking the fall, going getting 300 rupees.
Yep, and that's
Not
number
what he was
wang, ladies and
looking
gentlemen.
Sorry?
I said that's number wang because we've got enough for Zora.
Yeah. So we might see that check happen. And saiontea looks to also be setting up for that death warp, taking a couple tiles to the face there.
I did go look up what the text was for Bunny or for the Moon Pearl because I was interested.
Care to share?
It's Bunny Link Be Gone.
Okay. Is the same text used for pedestal as
Yes.
well as the tablets? Okay, I did not know. So, nothing really in Tower of Hera for either of these runners.
Yeah, so at this point, we're looking at either an Aga play or a Zora play. And I think that's it.
We haven't seen Sahasrara's hut or front of
Oh,
Eastern.
yeah, I forgot about Eastern. Eastern is a thing.
So, there's 6 more items over there as well, and I'd be inclined to head that way.
It's got to be Eastern. Eastern has to be the play if you don't forget it like some idiot. I don't know who that...
Who would ever do this? I mean, I skip Eastern hoping to double it up with Pod because I'm super greedy all the time.
Yes, me too.
And then I get punished.
That's what my brain is doing. It's like, you don't want to do Eastern. You don't have like Mirror and Dark World access yet. You need that for Eastern, right?
Absolutely. It is not a pendant dungeon. It's just a double crystal double dungeon with a 110 rupee admission. Not going to find out what the green pendant is yet. We'll see if capttenneal talks to Sahasrara on the way out. Or, okay, let's see.
Ice Palace.
Ice Palace today. That doesn't seem too promising, but we'll see where we are, 30 or 40 minutes from now. I always hate finding out there's pendant ice. Especially green pendant ice.
Yeah.
That is 4 slow items to go get.
At least once you got the Kana Samaria, it's at least reasonable.
Yeah, with hookshot already, that's gonna reduce the bomb jumping load a little bit and open up some pathing options. Kana Samaria hookshot. Of course, we're mitts away from access and flippers away from logic there. Plus that moon pearl that we would love to see anytime now. But it's worth considering. Knowing that green pendant ice is out there is never a good feeling for me. Just a map here in the first bridge chest in Eastern. So we'll see what else we find. We're guaranteed to either be able to get... Well, we're guaranteed at least 2 items because within the logic, because we do have lamp here. But looks like there will be an item on the Armos Knight, so now there are only 2 items accessible in Eastern.
Yep, and for our runner's sake, we're going to hope that the Moon Pearl is one of them. Because after having done all of this and still not getting access to Dark World, having to do Aghanim, that would be the worst.
Yeah, that's one of those things, like, when you're playing, you just think, what is the situation here relative to Aghanim requirements? Because you really don't want to pull the trigger on that too proactively, but you also don't want to have to check all these one-off spots.
Well, there's a mirror. That's not quite what we're looking for here.
No, but that's a pretty hype find.
But also putting the mirror in Eastern is like a jerk move.
Yeah, but it means you aren't getting punished for not trying to double them up downstream. So it's always a good thing. It always feels good to find it in Eastern if you went to Eastern first, because then you know you aren't getting outrouted by your opponent.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I find myself over in Eastern, as I often do, and I find the mirror, it's a little bit of a, man, that kind of sucks, but like, it could be much worse. Like, it could be the Dwarven Smith's mirror, which is just, it gets me every time.
Worse than that would be Purple Chest Mirror. Then you got to do it twice.
Yeah, anywhere in that sequence, just like why. But capttenneal coming up on his second item location. We'll see if it's as good as the mirror. It is.
No.
It's a shiny red rupee.
So now it's down to Zora and Aga.
capttenneal doesn't know about desert and the shovel
Correct.
yet.
Captain
So-
Tennille will be needing to head to desert, but beyond that,
Mhm.
yeah, he doesn't even know that Aga is a possible play at the moment.
Yeah. He does not yet have his sword, so he needs to get to desert. But I think saiontea, 739 rupees. I think we might be seeing that Zora play coming up. I think I've done maybe 4 seeds in the past 2 days, and 2 of them have been Zora Moon Pearl. So I don't know if I have bad luck or if the game is just that scummy, but Zora seems to have the Moon Pearl a lot lately. And some good hookshot movement there from saiontea. I didn't catch if capttenneal used the hook there for that fairy pot. But always good to be able to use the hookshot to speed up your movement just a little bit. See if saiontea uses it here as well in this pot key room. Taking a pass there, but lots of good hookable objects in Eastern Palace if you know what you're looking for. Also, those popos are very hookable, so you won't grapple to them, but they'll get out of your way and stay dead, so that's always good. And a nice big key skip there from saiontea. saiontea says that they don't run NMG, but they've done one NMG run. capttenneal saying really just a randomizer for his interests. But it might be that saiontea's picked up a little bit of that sort of NMG movement tech and kind of superimposed it on what they know about randomizer. And so
desert
showing
is
some nice
boots
movement.
locked for those of you asking there in chat. And you'll see that as Captain picks up that rupee.
Yeah, we are about to discover the situation in desert on capttenneal's side. There it is. Saw it here second, but we're gonna go get that shovel off the ledge and go dig up a pointy thing, and that's going to be Aghanim access. And saiontea's headed back over to do the magic bat. Not going to be happy with what they find, but it's better than doing Aga, is kind of how most players feel about this.
Right, so saiontea is doing the magic bat check, and Captain Tennille is going to go dig.
Yeah, and so this, I believe at this point, will, as soon as this dig is done, will bring the runners back completely to parity. And so 3320 for that save and quit from saiontea will be able to kind of assess where the lead is through the early part of the seed. Because I think they've done exactly the same things to this point, just in different orders.
And it looks like saiontea is going to make the Zora play, which makes plenty of sense.
And that's pretty crazy. We're 33 and a half minutes into this, have taken kind of vastly different routes, and are 19 seconds apart.
And I think Captain Tennille is also making the Zora play, just getting there the old-fashioned way.
Okay. I like it.
I mean, you figure Hobo's not actually in the logic.
Yeah, I don't think we saw either runner jump off to check Hylia Island, but you can break over to these, as we see saiontea doing. So it's going to take a few extra seconds. The Hobo check is actually fairly slow, but we'll see if it bears fruit.
And I mean, if you're looking for Moon Pearl, you know you're not going to be able to check the Waterfall Cave anyway.
Yeah, waterfall cave not.
What?
Oh my! Are we looking at vanilla flips or
Vanilla
pyramid
flippers?
flips? If it's pyramid flips, that break is huge.
Oh my!
Wow. So, where did he find that? I think it's down to vanilla flips and pyramid flips at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, that's entirely possible. The saiontea picks up the moon pearl on the fake flipper trip, which makes this check possible. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'll say that's a good break right there. not paying off.
Wow.
Oh my.
Oh no.
So saiontea we know just broke around Aga. And I think we're gonna see capttenneal head right to Castle Tower.
Oh, that is so unfortunate.
Oof. Yeah. So that's 19 seconds apart, but that's a free 5 minutes for saiontea. And yeah, now saiontea's finding out, yes, I definitely did just break around Aga, and I know that the flippers are on the pyramid. And so, interestingly, headed... Okay, looks like we're getting Hype Cave. I was going to say, I was expecting sort of Village Outcasts, but checking that Hype Cave also not a bad call.
But yeah, the huge sequence break here for saiontea, and he also knows that basically the flippers or something leading to them has to be on the pyramid, so he can check that as well while he's doing this. This is huge.
Yeah. What are other Light World locations that we haven't been able to check?
I don't know.
I think we've basically full cleared. Like, oh, boots. It could be boots on pyramid.
Okay, so let me go ahead and throw out a thing I just saw. We've got Meyer and Pod as the two remaining pendants, and it looks like Thieves Town was the remaining 5/6 crystal.
Okay, so we will need at least one medallion for T-Rock. T-Rock and Swamp Palace being crystals gives us the sort of the strongest requirements on items in terms of greatest number of dependencies.
Yeah, our hype cave is more of a tripe cave today. Not much in that department.
No, but we are about to see if it's boots or flippers. I think those are the only two possibilities here on the pyramid. It's gonna be something good.
Could be... No, you're right, that's it.
Because I think the only Light World thing that we have open is Boots Lock Desert.
And like Bonk Rocks.
Yeah. Oh, Mitz... No, Mitz can't be, because King's... It is the flippers, okay. I was trying to think of something.
So now we're put into a situation where I am not a huge fan of this current situation, because if you'll notice, we have the mirror and the flippers and the hammer and the hookshot.
Just go for it. It's a crystal. It's 6 items.
Why?
Just
Okay.
Just do it. You're on that part of the map. Like,
Can I at least skip left side?
if you find compass or map before that, then sure. But this early, your odds are looking pretty good.
Yeah, so the mirror was in the opening sphere. The hookshot was in the opening sphere. The hammer was in the opening sphere. And the only thing that wasn't was the flippers.
Yeah, and the moon pearl.
Right.
The flippers are
The
actually...
moon pearl was actually locking this dungeon.
Yeah, the moon pearl was a sphere 2 item. Or, I guess sphere 3 if you count the uncle as sphere 0, which is what I'm told that I'm supposed to be doing. So the farthest downstream item in the logic right now is Moon Pearl on saiontea's side. And so this is a Sphere 3 dungeon, but it's... Once you get past, like, Sphere 1 and 2, it stops being truly all that meaningful.
So I ran some numbers on this, and so the way it works is when the hookshot appears in a later sphere than all three of the other swamp items,
Okay.
the left side is about 18% to have a required item, and when it doesn't appear in an earlier sphere or later sphere, it's about 11%.
I have no idea if you're just...
I'm not making this up.
Okay. I mean, I believe you. And that could be very dangerous for me. But capttenneal getting the feel bad flippers on the pyramid, and I think he knows, and so we'll have to see. Getting a... Yep, you've got Mirror and you've got Aghanim dead. That little bit of a hang up there. Get that redo on the save and quit. But we'll see if we see capttenneal gamble a little more, knowing that breaking that Moon Pearl was an option. Or maybe it's broken boots, but either way, it's a broken something that he wants.
Alright, so we're not skipping the left side, and at this point I don't blame him. He's already got the map, which means there's something over here at least.
Yeah, if you find map or compass, and you're still looking for more than, any number of items, I think even if you're looking for just one item, like, don't leave it in swamp. I've seen a lot of runners get punished by doing swamp, but I've seen more get punished by not completing it. And yep, Captain. Yeah.
Captain,
he's gonna sleep through that though.
That.
You cannot murder the hobo. That's very not proper.
Hobo is immortal.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he doesn't mind living under a bridge. He's got all the time in the world.
Yeah, getting some consternation slashes that are well deserved from capttenneal, and we'll see where he heads from this point.
Yeah, he's probably going to go ahead and check the waterfall cave since it's right here.
And we'll see if left side swamp pays off on saiontea's side.
Yep.
Oh, yup. That was a Titan's mitt there, and a big 20. So that's going to be, enough money for a third red potion. So I think that was a pretty important check. We'll see what capttenneal does. Probably hype cave, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that swamp play out of captain as well.
Yep. Swamp is just kind of screaming at you right now, and since you're down here, it might as well be done.
Yeah, although you do have what you need to go do Skullwoods and Thievestown as well. It's just a little bit of a hike to get over there. So I wouldn't blame someone for wanting to head over there first either. We know that Those mitts are in left side swamp, and Captain Tennille wants to get there sooner than later. But it looks like he's headed a different way. I imagine this is that Village of Outcasts play.
Maybe we'll get like a catfish check or something while we're at it.
Yeah, there's no better time to do it.
I mean, the best time is never.
Yeah.
So Scion is going to go ahead and turn around after getting that big key. It's a little faster to check it now than have to walk back in.
Is it really, though? I think I like taking the 50-50 on Argus. I think that's the better expected value play.
Well, except it's not a 50-50 because he's found both a map and compass right now.
Oh, I thought we hadn't seen the compass. Okay, so yeah, you're going to want to check this location, and it's slightly faster this way. Okay, sorry, I thought we were still on 50-50. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think I like that philosophy of either early swamp or not ever swamp.
Yeah, swamp, either as soon as you have full access, or just stay away and hope to go mode it. There's definitely two competing schools of thought on swamp. And unfortunately, Catfish not having anything. And I guess you could have tried to maybe see if Catfish could be routed in later with like North Dark World stuff, but with the mirror, we may see a graveyard ledge check here on the way over to CAC as well.
Yeah, I think if you're captain, you know that so you know that the Moon Pearl was sequence breakable. And so you're making these sort of out of the way checks hoping to find something that your opponent doesn't.
So he's gonna.
And Graveyard Ledge is definitely one of those locations that people do not like to check.
Yeah, especially bootless, mitless Graveyard Ledge. We see how long of a walk he had just going through that hedge maze there. This is something that, you know, not only have we seen runners leave it for very late, we've seen runners completely forget how to go through that maze.
Oh yeah, it's not like incredibly obvious. Oh my goodness! Wow!
Yes. What are those?
Graveyard Ledge, paying off with the boots today. And for those of you wondering, I'm told those are things that make you go fast.
Yeah, he's going to be able to mirror immediately and get King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks. So this is actually a really nice find for Captain Tennille.
All right, saiontea finishes off Argus. Now we know that Captain Tennille is going to need to go into swamp eventually to get the mitts.
Yeah, although having boots when you get to swamp feels great.
Yeah, that's no lie.
Yeah, that water movement is, I think it's 2/3 the speed of normal terrain movement. I think the movement in pixels per frame is normally 2-1-2-1 or 1-2-1-2, and it goes to 1-1-1-2 in water, or 2-1-1-1.
Okay, I do understand what you're talking about. I have looked a little bit at movement tech.
Yeah, it's really bad. So every time you can dash in water, you're getting 3 pixels per frame instead of 4, but it's just so much better than what you're getting without boots that It really behooves you to be dashing in water all of the time.
According to my calculations, that little movement dip would be a 5/6 reduction. All right, now saiontea is going to go ahead and check the left or the south Dark World stuff. We've got the Grove Ledge here. We've got the digging game, things like that. And of course, we can route right into the Village of Outcasts with those Titans mitts.
Yeah, and this south route is going to keep saiontea away from that graveyard ledge and those boots by virtue of having those mitts. This is actually shaping up to be very, very interesting.
Now, capttenneal unfortunately ending up in a situation in Skull Woods where you have to go to the pinball room.
Yeah, we'll see if we get the bouncy mummy today. It's my second favorite mummy in the game, and there he is, on the top right of capttenneal's screen. He's just bouncing around having a good old time.
If that's your second favorite mummy in the game, what's your first favorite mummy in the game?
Oh, my first favorite mummy is absolutely Stuck Mummy. We might see him here in a minute, depending on the RNG, if capttenneal goes to the back of Skullwoods. One of the Gibdos can get stuck on the left side of the statue room, and it just makes so many fewer bad RNG patterns that you can get in that room. Stuck Mummy is favorite mummy.
Alright, so capttenneal is foregoing the bomb jump because, I believe that's a technical term.
Yeah. With the boots, it's definitely an eh. Without the boots, it's like, man, I tried to spin a few times and I fell in the hole and screw it. But with the boots, it's much more of an eh.
So we got a small key in that big chest. We've also got one of the items that's a piece of heart, which means there will be one more item here.
And here we see saiontea showing off one of the areas that capttenneal will be able to make up some of that 5-minute aga check here on those hammer pegs. Gonna save integer seconds here on capttenneal's screen when he can just hammer dash straight through them, which will feel good. I missed if we got Stuck Mummy, so now I'm sad. But I was just watching that peg puzzle.
Oh
No! Full magic.
Yeah,
is that a sprite limit issue?
It is a sprite limit issue. If you kill one of the, or if I think if the it's the what's it called, the wall master. If the wall master's on the screen, you could it could despawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what we just saw was capttenneal bombed open the wall, was looking for a full magic decanter that's supposed to be there, a really heads up play. But there were too many sprites, and so the game couldn't spawn it when he lifted the pot.
I like to exploit that sometimes by not killing the little electric guys in the front room if I have to move the statue. It's kind of hard to do, but that way the wall master never spawns.
Interesting.
Until you lift the pot and throw it, because then that goes away and the sprite limit is no longer hit.
And capttenneal getting grabbed, thankfully, has the boots and is going to be able to make it back pretty quickly. And saiontea making the Thieves' Town play. I love that the big progression item difference is mitts on saiontea's side, which were in left side swamp, and boots on capttenneal's side, which were in Graveyard Ledge. So two kind of out-of-the-way spots with two major progression items. capttenneal getting a little beat up here by those Gibdos. But it's leading the runners into completely different areas in the game. And I'm loving seeing how this is playing out.
Yeah, capttenneal is actually going to chug that green potion he had sitting around.
Yeah, waiting for all the torches to go out, leading like the sort of Pied Piper of Gibdos here. And no.
And so once again, capttenneal is going to have to do that to it one more time.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry.
No, it's A-okay. I'm just the feels of getting wall mastered twice out of the back of swamp and just this Gibdo walk, and I just feel for where capttenneal must feel where he is in this race right now. We know that it's actually pretty competitive at this point. It's a left side swamp versus a graveyard ledge, and either of those could lead us to different things. We don't know which one's going to pay off first or how they're going to pay off differently.
Yeah, I think Captain Tennille's best hope is like saiontea finds flute or something and goes away. Because right now, he's a little dangerously close to checking that graveyard ledge.
Yeah, although I wouldn't be surprised to see Captain Tennille kind of go from Skullwoods down around and end up over at Swamp.
That is possible.
So I think that those are kind of two natural routing decisions. And it was just a decent competition for what you did when you finally got to Dark World. I think they were both viable options.
All right, so Captain Tennille finishes off Mothula. That was a very excellent hammer moth fight. And, oh, guys,
get your hypes in chat.
We're getting a ped check. A better copy of your sword for your time.
Well, then.
Well, rip Buttersword.
I was gonna say, I don't think we'll be seeing the lag stick. I think that runners will be content, assuming they can find the Master Sword somewhere. But Skullwoods didn't really have much going on. And so far, it doesn't look like Thievestown has had all that much either.
Oh, there's bees!
Yeah. There are definite bee fans out there, but definitely not, I think, what saiontea's looking for. And Captain Tennille going to have a faster Thievestown by virtue of these boots. A lot of straight areas to dash through in Thievestown, including everyone's favorite, the Hellway.
I do not believe we have seen the Bombos tablet.
No, we've not. No one's been down there in a position to go check it, except for saiontea had the option, I guess, post-Swamp,
right,
but did not choose to. It is just a little out of the way. But actually, maybe I missed it. Oh, I did miss it. So sorry about that. Well, getting information from chat that Bombo's tablet was triple boom. So saiontea did route that in, and I apologize.
So the major progression items we are currently missing. We're missing the bow, which we need for Eastern Palace. We're missing the ice rod for Turtle Rock. And that's basically it. I mean, we need a sword.
Yep, that's all there is to it. We're going to hope to, dodge the flute. Don't want to see that come up. Don't want to see any other fetch quest items.
Yep. So Captain Tennille picked up that mirror shield from the chest game. So we've got, and the last shield is on Mothula, so Scion will also be picking that up.
Yeah. So we have.
I'm smelling bow on Laser Bridge.
It's. I mean, we've had the cape for a while.
Right. That didn't actually change any of the logic.
But it seems entirely reasonable. As unreasonable as bow and laser bridge may seem. And so we're just seeing Captain Tennille kind of continue his sort of counterclockwise Dark World check, where saiontea's kind of doing the clockwise check by virtue of having mitts. And so they've now passed each other. And so I guess the only other thing is we did not see saiontea do the dwarf sequence, right?
Yeah, I believe we did, minus the purple chest.
Yeah, the purple chest was left. We saw, I guess, the returning of the breadsmith, but not the whole thing. And so we'll see if saiontea decides to go check the pedestal here after Skullwoods, but we know that our best guess at where progress would be right now, I guess desert looks decent.
Yeah, there's only one item left in desert. We did find one,
Yeah.
but it is a possibility.
Yeah, it's
Dark Death Mountain.
Mm.
Seems really good to
yeah,
me
that
right
does
now.
that seems very good.
There's always the pod dip, which is not your favorite thing when it's a pendant,
Yeah.
but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, hammer and mirror. At least most of the times when pod is bow locked, you can find out fairly early on that it is bow locked. That is, it bow locks fairly quickly.
And of course, while the ice rod is still at large, you're basically at the mercy of RNG.
saiontea going ham with the fire rod here on, and now the hammer rather than do fighter sword moth.
Yeah, more like going hammer.
Yeah.
Hashtag bad jokes. Moving on.
We'll see how Blind decides to treat capttenneal today. And going to the bottom of the screen, either convenient or off script, depending on how you feel like assessing it.
Yeah, so this is like the second frame script, where he ends up going left instead of right at the beginning. And
yeah,
he ends up down in the bottom. But that's okay.
Yeah, pretty quick work of that fight, and we are getting that ped check from saiontea. So now saiontea also with full information to decide whether he would like to go and do all the pendant dungeons for that master sword. But like we were saying earlier, I doubt we're going to see that today.
He's going to also find out about that rip butter.
And let's see what capttenneal does. Oh. Looks like he's gonna head over for his digging game. Oh, no. Oh, okay. He's gonna head back to library.
Oh,
yeah.
I saw that wrong. I thought it was just bombs. Turns out it was a blue potion.
Yeah, I thought so too. Both runners checked it very, very quickly. But that's a nice thing to be able to pop in and grab.
And it looks like saiontea is doing the North Dark World check, so the boots advantage that capttenneal had is drying up quickly.
Yeah, and capttenneal probably had boots for about 15 to 20 minutes over saiontea, so that's probably on the order of 40 seconds to a minute saved. But it was on some pretty good areas to have boots, so like Thieves Town, it saved a good bit of time.
And he's also going to have boots for Swamp, so that's going to allow him to make up some time there.
Yeah, Swamp boots, my favorite boots. But if anyone's just joining us, the big difference in this race, which saiontea now has boots, has been that capttenneal got those boots pretty early on, and saiontea got Titan's Mitts in left side Swamp. And so I think we're going to see capttenneal make his way down to Swamp. Kind of stopping to talk to Stump Kid there, and we want to see him go to the front of Swamp and mirror, and I think we're going to.
I think he might check Bombo's tablet first.
Yeah. Exactly. I think we're going to see that Bombo's check. I think we're going to see right on into Swamp, because there's not a lot left available other than Pendant Pod Dip.
Yeah, and I'm not going in there without the bow if Swamp is available.
And saiontea also grabbing the Bombos medallion, so...
Any medallion we could possibly want for Turtle Rock is on the table.
Yeah, that's going to save the need to maybe want to get up to Dark Death Mountain earlier. So, do you try and put off Dark Death Mountain at this point, just to avoid having to climb it an additional time, knowing that you don't have any concerns about the T-Rock medallion? Or do you just want to get up there and get those items?
Well, I'll probably do Desert first, I think. Just because it's a crystal and I can clear it. And then from that point, I'd probably go for Dark Death Mountain, just because there's so much stuff and it's likely to have the bow. Or the Ice Rod, or both.
Yeah. Especially because now you're actually guaranteed to be able to go into T-Rock, and you're guaranteed to be able to progress through Laser Bridge. So there's actually, what, 12 locations? 2 Super Bunny, 4 Hookshot, and then 5 T-Rock plus Mimic Cave.
Yep.
That seems pretty juicy.
Also Spike Cave.
Oh yeah! Our buddy Spike Cave is still hanging out unchecked. I'm pretty convinced that Ice Rod's vanilla location in V29 is Turtle Rock or Mimic Cave.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
It's the worst sort of go mode item, that's for sure.
Yeah, basically, so I have a lot of rules about things I'll check and based on what I found and where I find it. When it's the Ice Rod I'm looking for it, every single rule goes out the window.
It's, can I go to Turtle Rock? Why not? And then, you know, the times it doesn't work out, you just are very sad. But we'll see. I'm curious whether we'll see saiontea go do the Dark Death Mountain overworld stuff, especially knowing that half magic is hanging out on the floating island.
Yeah, I think so.
I like this call. Turtle Rock magic management can be a little finicky when you can't depend on drops at all.
All right, so Super Bunny Cave, what do you have for us? I'm feeling a sword. How about no?
I think it's going to be trash plus half magic, and that everything is going to be in T-Rock.
All right. So moving on to Hookshot Cave.
And we call that cave Super Bunny Cave because you can put yourself in the Super Bunny state of being able to check those chests without having the Moon Pearl by falling through a hole. It's a minor glitch that was so frequently used in that spot that it became what that cave was known for, to answer the question in chat.
Yeah, and, you know, I didn't see anything there in Hookshot Cave either.
Yeah, and this doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, we're only looking for a handful of things, and there's a lot of item locations left, and so...
In before Ice Rod and Purple Chest.
Ooh, that would not feel good. But capttenneal is going to feel either really good or really terrified finding these mitts here in just a second. And no consternation slashes today, so I think he might just be happy to see those.
So right now, basically, the vast majority of the difference for this entire race can be traced to deciding to go to Zora one way or another way. You know? Checking the hobo on the way or not.
Yeah, because saiontea, by doing that, got the Moon Pearl and was able to break around having to do Aghanim's Tower. And capttenneal's been kind of grinding back some of that time by virtue of having the boots longer, but that's no longer an advantage. Now it's Mitt's locations that saiontea has been able to check. I'd say saiontea, still has held on to a substantial lead now that the runners are kind of reunified in the arc of progress of the seed.
Yep. All right, that's 2 small keys and a compass so far in Turtle Rock.
Which, compass, not looking great. I think, we weren't going to see anyone skipping T-Rock locations, still looking for Ice Rod, Bow, Sword, but looking for not Flute. That's the big thing. And capttenneal not going back for the big key chest. So if he decides to leave that big key location, that could be another little time save.
Speaking of the big key, that's what we find in the Chomp Room. Not really surprised about that one. There are only 2 more places it could have been. Or total,
Yeah,
including that one.
Mm-hmm. And if you're saiontea, now you're really hoping that there's some progress downstream in Turtle Rock, because you have to check the vanilla big key location, and someone in go mode would not have to.
Alright, so we see capttenneal attempting to do double hammer strats on Argus, while Scion used the spin strats for the sword.
Yeah, the menu strats here, a little slow because of the menuing, but effective.
Yeah. I've heard this called the turn-based battle.
That's a new one to me, but you can see why it is called that. It seems that capttenneal has a higher initiative than Argus in this fight, getting multiple cycles in per round for his attacks, but yeah, turn-based Argus. And what is Mimic Cave gonna have today?
Well, I think it's going to have mimics.
Yeah, maybe some Diglets.
Yeah.
A chest.
Yeah, a couple of blocks. Anyway.
Jokes aside, it's got a big 20. So T-Rock so far not paying out, but the real trove of items is coming up here in Laser Bridge, so we'll see what that has. Why do they call it Mimic Cave?
There's the ice rod.
There it is. That's a relieving find.
Ice rod in the big chest of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so saiontea is a bow away. So trying to get to bow mode. And a sword upgrade, but we know where one is. I don't think that's the one that the runners are going to end up using.
Yeah, I doubt that very seriously.
Mm-hmm. Although, yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah, I can't imagine a scenario in which that's more convenient than any other sword.
Yeah, I was trying to concoct something, and no, there's just nothing. We're not getting that sword upgrade.
All right, so we found burrito, we found piece of heart, we found another piece of heart, and the last one's going to be the small key. So, laser bridge turning out to be pretty garbage today.
Yeah, we have the burrito and the compass, so it could be Trinex bow.
Yep, Trinex bow is a perfectly reasonable situation.
It could also be back of desert bow, so Captain Tennille might be on
I'm
his
not
way
gonna
to
lie,
bow.
bow back here in desert would kind of be the worst thing for Captain Tennille because he might
Mm-hmm.
like dip pod before going to T-Rock.
Yeah, bow and DP would be basically, like you said, the worst outcome. Because it would put Captain Tennille on very much the wrong path. And with Eastern being a crystal, it can't be GT bow. So, oddly, if you're a Captain Tennille fan here, you are rooting for Trinex bow. Is that where we are?
I believe so. Now, luckily, Captain Tennille just found the second item in desert. It's another big 20. So desert does
Okay.
not have our progression.
Yeah. Or, you know where we haven't been yet?
Where's that?
And it's in logic. And we're
Spike
talking
Cave?
about how horrible it is when Sahasrara told us about it earlier.
Oh, God.
The bow could very well be over in Green Pendant East Ice Palace.
Out.
That might be the best case scenario for Captain Tennille, though. Because I think you dive T-Rock first, and that gives sort of the greatest mean path length to seed completion.
Yeah, that is true.
So I think that's what Captain Tennille wants at this point.
Well, let's see what Trinex has. Just a big 20.
All right.
Bow is still at large.
Bow hype. Let's do this.
Yes, Hookshot Cave was in fact checked. It was, I think the blue boomerang was in there.
Yeah, and looks like we are going to get Spike Cave. Spike Cave could still be bow. I like this routing from saiontea. I actually really do like it a lot. I think that he's played the seed pretty well from a routing perspective.
Alright, so Captain Tennille is now out of fire rod shots. We'll be hammering some land molas in the face.
Yeah, the Landmo hitbox, not my favorite of hitboxes. But Captain Tennille doing a really nice job there. Timing those hammer strikes right with the Landmo emergence.
Alright, Scion picks up a bottle in Spike Cave. That is gonna do it for that.
Yeah, so we're left with an inaccessible mire. Oh, greatest mean path length would be like Green Pendant Flute, wouldn't it?
Yep.
So if you're trying to troll as hard as possible, you're looking at like Green Pendant Flute to Vitreous Mushroom or something to bow.
So we see saiontea is about to do the thing that Captain Tennille just did, while Captain Tennille is going to go do the thing that saiontea just did.
Yep, and Desert, notably quicker than T-Rock, but we know that the bow is still going to be outstanding for both players at the conclusion of this.
And that all-important sword upgrade. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it feels bad that there's only 2 out in the wild, and there's the one that neither runner's going to want to go get. But it's going to show up somewhere. they might both be deep in GT.
Yeah, that is entirely possible, even likely at this point.
Yeah, GT, a lot of item locations. Although I think the item placement algorithm still allows for, is it like 0 to 15 trash items? Is that the count right now in GT?
Yeah.
Okay. So it could be full of good stuff, but we found a lot of good stuff. So I think that there's a non-zero amount of GT trash.
Yeah. So you could straight up get the 0 there.
Mhm.
But they just made it a little bit more likely that stuff appears outside of GT.
But yeah, for capttenneal, he's going to be putting his hopes over in Turtle Rock. And for saiontea, all this done, what do you do? Do you head for Pod and hope to get the bow there early and be able to mirror and do Eastern? Do you sequence that after Ice Palace because of routing efficiency, that if it is Pod, you know it's not Ice Palace and you don't have to go back through there twice? Because those are really the two options here that saiontea's going to be faced with. Yeah, because Eastern is a 5/6 crystal, so Pyramid Fairy is off the table. Pyramid Fairy is dead.
Very true.
So I think it is exactly those two plays that saiontea's going to be faced with. I kind of like the Pod play, because then you know before you commit to before you commit to the Ice Palace play.
Right. You know, pod is a little more chest dense as well. It's just has a higher chance of it happening, I think.
Yeah, and if it's going to be a bow locked pod, it becomes apparent very early.
Right.
And if it's not, the number of item locations is competitive with Ice Palace. To answer the chat question, Ice Rod is in the big chest in Turtle Rock. So capttenneal is going to be on his way to the Ice Rod. It's going to work out. And here we go. We're going to see what saiontea does with all of that information. All of my conjecture is going to be completely worthless here in just a minute. We're going to find out, and it looks like it looks like it's going to be that pod play.
Yeah, Ice Palace would be jump in the water.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, Ice Palace. I was beginning to think it might have been Ice Palace because Fluteless could have also dashed over and kind of gone for the 5 portal for pod. I don't know if this is faster or not.
Yeah, I have no idea, to be honest.
I think that it's the same number of screen transitions, but it's definitely a close. It's a close amount of time. But either way, we will see if pod pays off here for saiontea. I hate that chomp pattern. That chomp RNG is like some of my least favorite chomp RNG. It's almost as bad as when they go both low wide and then force you to kind of come up to the middle and then both immediately backtrack up.
Yeah.
So, sometimes they're just jerks, but capttenneal makes it through, so good on him.
All right, so saiontea finds a small key in the first chest of pod, meaning we are not immediately bow locked. There is a possibility that you're bow locked here, and I think when I'm looking for just the bow, I am actually going to check everything I can to make sure to figure out if I'm bow locked or not.
Yeah, if I'm looking for just the bow in pod, I am aggressively using keys to try to bow lock myself.
So basically, what saiontea will want to do here now is check the big key chest.
Yeah, because you aren't going to get information about the right side item distribution, and there need to be 4 small keys in the first 6 chests.
And there needs to be 3 for this to not be bow locked.
Yeah, so
Right
this needs to be exactly a small key or the bow. Otherwise, saiontea can leave.
And it's a small key, so we get to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so we get to go all the way to the back of pod, where the party lives, and we'll see if it's a bow party or not. I feel like it's like a 50s TV show talking about finding your bow at the party at pod, but
Oh my
we'll see if it
goodness.
works out.
It took me a while to rearrange the spelling on that one. That was really good.
I was digging deep, but we're still alive. And some arrows. And that's not a thing with which to use those arrows, so we can check. And the Harmless Hellway has to be a small key.
Does it?
Or no, or it's bow locked. So we're bow locked, and we can mirror out.
Yeah, we can peace out now. But I think saiontea is going to do the hammer yump.
You're just looking for the bow. The hammer yump is out of logic. You don't need this. It's a cool double Y pixel perfect swaggy strat, and going for the additional bomb throw. I respect the swag, but you don't need to do this. You're not going to find your bow here, saiontea.
Like, worst possible thing right now is if he finds the flute back here, and he thinks that the bow can be over there.
And doesn't think about pod logic. And yeah, if this chest up here is the flute, that is the best thing that can happen for capttenneal, actually.
Yep, no such luck.
Yeah.
Well,
but all said and done, a nice first try hammer yump from saiontea. So we did get the swag showcase.
Yep. Well, looks like Ice Palace time.
Let's bow, baby. Ice Palace it is. And Hard Hat Beetle here, getting in a fight with capttenneal, not winning that fight. capttenneal battling his way valiantly to the small key. Gonna go to Trinex, and we'll see. I'm rooting for capttenneal to make that Ice Palace gamble right away, because I like seeing close races.
I feel like you'd be going into Ice Palace going, "Where's the bow? Where's the bow?"
Apologies to all of our viewers younger than like 45. But I'm having a blast.
I may have written an entire set of lyrics for that song.
I wish that you could debut them without like copyright concerns or something, because I kind of want this to happen, but that's okay. For the love of memes. But where will the bow be? And nice bomb jump setup there from saiontea. using the hook shot to get through that fire bar. And without a small key, we're going to be into the interesting part of Ice Palace routing, and we'll see. Everyone kind of has their own little take on lower Ice Palace routing if you don't get a small key in that first chest. And especially when you're looking just for one go mode item, I don't actually know what the right solution is.
Yeah, I know a lot of people will go ahead and do the bomb jump if they're just looking for one thing, just assuming they're going to get it and not have to go a long way to iced tea.
Yeah, I like doing the bomb jump.
Oh no!
Oh shucks.
There's the flute in Ice Palace.
That's not music to your ears if you're saiontea. You did not want to see that flute. But it looks like we'll be here for at least a few more minutes, so...
There is that. So we found 2 of the items in Ice Palace already, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, just one item to go, so you want to check the spike key, or the spike switch chest, before going and doing the 2 above it, and before going and doing iced tea, and obviously before doing cold stare. If you don't find... Yeah, you're completing this. Do you turn in the green pendant? Do you, like, activate flute and then immediately flute to 5 and just cross your fingers, or are you headed for Mire?
I don't know.
I think I'm tempted to just head to Mire, because it's so much more item dense. You've got the Mire shed, you've got Checkerboard Cave, you've got 2 items in Mire. But, like, checking Mire is so slow. It's kind of like that pod gamble where, like, trying to bow lock yourself as fast as possible might be the best expected value play. I don't actually know.
Now, unfortunately, it does look like capttenneal is also going to head to pod. Maybe they will recognize the bowlock situation and not check the dark maze.
Yeah, that could be a time save if capttenneal is on top of pod routing. But I'll come clean about this. I've been absolutely garbage at pod routing. I believe I was looking for, like, just the lamp in my last race. And I'm, like, hammer jumping and doing the maze backwards and getting myself lost in the dark. And it was not a good show. So, like, it's very, very easy to lose track of pod logic, especially when all the other things in a race are going on around you. So, I didn't want to seem like I was coming off hard on saiontea about that. It's absolutely easy to miss that.
Oh, absolutely.
It would be very convenient to acknowledge that, and so we'll see if capttenneal picks up on it.
So speaking of checking things, we have finished finding all the items in Ice Palace. Look like another piece of heart.
Yeah, so flute activation. Or green pendant check. And yes, I apologize. My phone wasn't muted. There was something that happened. Nothing. The fries are not done. The pizza's not burnt. And we're gonna see what capttenneal does in the back of pod. So sorry if I debated everyone to looking at their phone.
And capttenneal just gonna check the last few things here, and we'll see what happens next. It is time, however, for everybody's favorite swag duck to make an appearance.
Ooh. We're gonna liberate the duck here on saiontea's side. With capttenneal's audio, you're just gonna have to hum it to yourself. And Captain Tennille did acknowledge the Bowlock situation in pod and get out early, so that was good.
All right, so I'm guessing we're gonna see ourselves a nice little Ice Palace check.
Yeah, straight to Ice Palace, and I sincerely doubt with Green Pendant dipping out after Flute, but
So here's a thing that I did not expect from saiontea. We're actually going to see Purple Chest check.
how did we miss that?
Well, Purple Chest was, something neither player had done.
Yeah, exactly. I just completely forgot it was even on the map. Hadn't considered it. But this is big.
It's a mushroom.
At least you already got the flute out of Ice Palace, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go turn in the fungus. Spending an extra 20 seconds trying to check that location.
And there it is.
Wow. So if you're saiontea, do you feel behind?
Maybe. You just dipped Ice Palace for no reason.
Yeah, I think that I feel behind.
Yeah, I mean, the flute is not like the worst thing to find, but now Captain Tennille has not done any of the Smith chain, let alone the Purple Chest.
Yes, because Captain Tennille didn't have the Titan's mitts on the first pass by that area, and so just did hammer pegs.
No, I don't think he even did that. You can't really get to those pegs.
Wait, yeah, never mind. No, yeah, he just blew right by. So there's more stuff over there. What was I thinking? Sorry about that. I swear sometimes things just come out before I fully quality control check them. So apologies. Thank you for catching me on that one.
Yeah, no big deal. So Captain Tennille gonna get that flute soon. saiontea gonna go to Armos Knights. What saiontea wants to see here off Armos Knights is a sword, really badly.
Yeah, a sword would be true go mode.
Now the question is, at this point, do you just go to GT and hope it's there?
Oh, absolutely. You are done screwing around. If you get all the way up to Aga 2 and still don't have it, then from the pyramid you go and you assess there. But you can get through GT and blow open that pyramid with the fighter sword. And so you let that second sword show up in your path.
Alright, so we're trying to set up for the quick kill strat here on Armos. This is something I pulled off for the first time the other day, and it made me happy.
Oh, nice. I think the first time I was going for it, it probably took me at least 15, 20 tries to get it right when I was kind of first learning A Link to the Past. That top right to top left quick kill is a few frames faster than the bottom right one. And it's fairly tight. I mean, there's some wiggle room. It's not like some sort of frame perfect anything, but it is a pretty tight strat, and saiontea did a really nice job with it.
He picks up the Cane of Brian. We go ahead and turn in the green pendant while we're at it. Why not?
Yeah, that's a quick check, and it could eliminate the Ganon Tower sort of sword hunt.
So saiontea is going to go ahead and check, I'm going to say probably Mire Shed here, maybe Checkerboard Cave, just in case.
Yeah, this is
I don't
An interesting
imagine
call.
there's any scenario in which saiontea actually goes into mire. So this is 7 crystals. I think it's time to start the game.
Oh. Is there a game?
Yeah, there might be.
I'm enjoying the game we're watching, but do you want to tell me what game you're thinking of?
Well, there's a game where we try to guess what the big key is in Ganon's Tower.
I like Vanilla Big Key. What do
I'm
you
told
like?
there's 22 locations, and you can put your numbers in chat. Just be entered on the leaderboard. Now, of course, you'll need to be a subscriber to one of the speed gaming channels or have 250 bits or more toward that to actually be added to the leaderboard. Feel free to play along either way. However, I've got 14 because 14 is generally Bob's chest if you go the traditional left side route.
Yeah, so if I had to put a number on it, 15 would be the sort of traditional route vanilla big key chest. But I like seeing Ice Armos, seeing what speed strats runners like to use, or when that fight goes sideways, just how bouncy and sideways it goes. But yeah, nothing in Mire Shed for either runner. capttenneal does need to get back to that Smith sequence. And we might be seeing a Mire dip, but...
Oh, that would be unfortunate for capttenneal.
Yeah, and I couldn't fault him on it.
So we see saiontea entering Ganon's Tower with a fighter's sword, which is just a rare occasion.
Yeah, it happens every once in a while, and it's happening here today, but we do have to cut the guesses in the big key guessing game off when saiontea gets to that first item location, so you only have a couple seconds left if you were hoping to guess.
Alright, so we've got a small key and a 50 rupees, and now we're going right side, so screwing up everybody's numbers.
Hey. It's okay. I like the routing choice, the gambit being that you have 2 locations down, 20 left, there's a 20% chance that it's over here in these 4 chests, and if it's not, the cost is relatively minor, so this has kind of become the current meta play, and I agree with the philosophy behind it, and so, again, routing on saiontea's side that I rather like.
Alright, so whole lot of garbage in the compass room. We're going to get this key out of the next room. I don't know if we'll continue, but it's possible. I didn't think so.
No full right, and capttenneal is into Mire, and we know that this is just not going to do anything, so...
I mean, there could be a sword in here. That would be a small consolation.
That's true. It could be double sword Mire.
That would be ridiculous.
That's the out. It's not number of Ganon falls or whatever people like to talk about. Is it double sword Mire?
And there's the big key in chest number
11?
Yeah, 11, I believe.
I believe that's 11 because he had 6 right side.
saiontea called it.
That's true. The file name. So, what a savant. And here's some more of those NMG strats here on saiontea's side. Some nice blue boom switch strats with the hookshot, minimizing menuing and having that hookshot selected in time for the Fire Snake room.
Yeah. I don't know if we actually discussed that when it happened, but the file names for saiontea were GTBK Juichi, which is 11 in Japanese. So that's pretty great.
And so far, we have no sword in Ganon's tower. saiontea is continuing left side here, looking for that sword.
There's the silver arrows. That's
All right.
at least a strong consolation prize. And there's the Master Sword. We're done.
Yep. Master Sword Ganon, not silverless Master Sword. That is probably the best rando room I've ever seen. In terms of, like, I have big key, I'm just checking for items.
Yeah, I've seen tempered butter and silvers in there.
Whew. That's quite a deal. And saiontea putting those silvers immediately to work. 20 arrows in the quiver. A little tight on ammo, actually. Oddly, for how late we got the bow, but did burn through a lot of those on the Armos fight, so that is officially go mode for saiontea at, about an hour and 45 minutes. Pretty good go mode time. I think the seed is a very fair, very generous V29 seed. Meanwhile, nice work on sniping that blue Zazak there with the silver arrow. Silver arrows generating a ton of lag because of all the sparkles, but when it takes out those obnoxiously walking horses, really worth the lag. We see the red Zazaks taking 2 slashes of the Master Sword, making them doubly annoying.
I know what you sometimes like to do in that room is try to knock the Zazak into the spike as you come through.
Mm-hmm. And that's what saiontea did with the second red Zazak. And we'll see if we get that nice 0 cycle. So far, so... Oh!
Just barely dodged.
Yeah, a little off on that last shot. Had kind of gambled right, and the landmo went left. And then a short hop. And another DJ Khaled landmo is here. But saiontea cleaning up that third sand Batwoon and making his way further into Upper Ganon's tower. Nope. Red Cane's what you wanted. Blue Boomerang, not quite. And Bomb Strat Vidi on capttenneal's side.
Yeah, I mean, when all you've got is the fighter sword.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you can do hammer strats, but, yeah, bombs.
Yeah. You got 26 bombs for a reason. And capttenneal, low health alert. And the vitreous eyeballs are turning up the heat here on capttenneal. This is a dangerous spot to be in. 4 hearts. I don't know what sort of potion safeties and whatnot he may have. Does have half magic, and are we going to see cape here soon? I think we're going to see a check. Oh, there. Oh, blue potion. Blue potion.
Hey, got that off the library.
Oh yeah, that's right. So that blue potion mirror coming up clutch here in this vitreous fight.
saiontea is going to go ahead and check the chests on the way up Ganon's tower. That is perfectly reasonable, given the fact that you're still on Master Sword. Now, you know there's only one possible sword upgrade left, but it could be here, and that could be a huge deal.
Yeah, the cost of checking these chests, not great relative to the difference between Master Sword and Tempered Sword Ganon. Master Sword, of course, you need to do all spins, and so that really limits, especially in Phase 1 and 2, the amount of progress you can make, even with silver arrows waiting for Phase 4. And so, not surprised at all to see saiontea choosing to go for that. And looks like all the eyeballs are down.
Oh, there it is!
Wow.
The final chest has the last sword upgrade. Wow.
Wow. What a Ganon's Tower for saiontea. And capttenneal on one heart here doing hammer strats. This is... oh my god, this Vitreous. Oh no! Oh, I wanted that Vitreous to succeed so much, and he's going back for it.
Oh no.
He's all in on this bow being on Vitreous at this point, and knows that, like, that's the out. There's no other possible line to win at this point. And so, if you're capttenneal, you're thinking, if my Meyer gamble doesn't pay off, then I've already lost. And so, you do have to push this Vitreous fight, as crappy of a fight as it is.
Speaking of crappy fights, this is actually the opposite of that.
Yeah, this is a cozy fight. We'll see.
Ooh,
Looks
nice.
like saiontea got that double spin, setting up for a 1-on-1. Nice Ganon position too, and
How
not
does
quite
that
getting
even
1-on-1.
work?
You want to get 1 slash in before the text box, 2 slashes after, immediately charge a spin, walk up like into the trident basically, and spin and use the trident to knock you back into Ganon to get a second spin.
Oh,
And
so that's why you don't, like, recoil away?
Yeah, well, you do recoil, but you recoil off of Ganon, then off of the trident, and I guess then off of Ganon again, but it doesn't matter at that point.
Wow, that's something I'll have to figure out how to do.
Yeah, that's if you're going for Tempered Sword 1-on-1 for Ganon, that's how you're going to get hits 4, 5, 6, and 7 in. And then you need to get 5 more slashes in before the trident starts spinning. saiontea had a good Ganon position as he's making it through phase 3 here, finding out where those silver arrows were. In my tower. And should be set up for the coziest of Ganon phase 4s.
Yep, didn't quite get the double on the first hit. I don't think it was possible. But
No.
yeah.
But all 4 silvers stuck there, and so Ganon is dead. And if saiontea can hold up correctly, and they're crossing the bridge, saiontea goes. saiontea has finished in first place with an official speedracing.tv time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 44 seconds. Congratulations and GG to saiontea. saiontea is the winner in this matchup and will be moving on to 4-0, still undefeated in the Swiss stage of this tournament.
Yep, and just one single match away from guaranteeing a spot in the brackets.
Yeah, you think that that 4-0 feels pretty good in this tournament? All you need is 5 wins. You have 3 more rounds to get one. That feels pretty good. Also,
And then, of course, there will be, 1/8 of the people who make it to 4-0 who can't actually pull out the 5th win, and that'll feel real bad.
yeah. So after this round, there will be 32 4-0s, assuming that nothing truly bizarre happens. But there are 64 right now, and capttenneal taking another Vitreous fall, unfortunately. So hopefully this next round goes better. Looks like he is opting out. But 32 undefeateds after this round, that would mean 1-8, like you said. 4 of them statistically will go 0-3. Now, actually isn't guaranteed to happen. But if any of the 4-3s sneak in, it is highly favored to be one of those 4 people who starts 4-0 and then goes 0-3. So is a little bit of wiggle room from 4-0, potentially due to drops, but definitely not a cozy spot. And let's see where capttenneal is headed. Picking up some more bombs. It's a good purchase.
Alright, I'm getting a hold of gonna see if we can get a hold of our winner here.
Yeah, hopefully saiontea chooses to come and chat with us. Definitely a seed that'll be worth talking about. And capttenneal is picking up 2 more blue potions, 3 more blue potions, and is going to be fully equipped to go and tackle anything, even with Fighter Sword, except Ganon. And capttenneal is going right back into Mire, gonna persist and go for round 3 with Vitreous. So hopefully this one goes better. Definitely admiring the persistence capttenneal is showing through a rough fight. Don't know if capttenneal knows that saiontea is finished or not. I know some runners do and some don't watch the speedracing.tv sort of race status while they're racing. Some people like to just be blind until they get to the end. But
yeah, sometimes
way,
you want to avoid tilting out by seeing what's already happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's, you know, either way, good to see capttenneal continuing to battle even with this real bugger of a Vitreous fight. We didn't see saiontea have to do this fight, but
though to be fair, yeah. if I were capttenneal, I would probably be tilting out already.
Oh yeah, I mean, keep in mind, capttenneal went and did AGA 1, and so like the tilt index was already really high once Moon Pearl was found, and so, you know, how well capttenneal has played throughout this seed, I think that
yeah,
it's very admirable, especially given how easy it would be to just like when you find that Moon Pearl.
Basically, right up until the point where capttenneal decided to go to Mire instead of checking out the Smith chain, he was basically, yeah, if only that that AGA play away.
I think he even closed the gap on the AGA play.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we had capttenneal be the first runner to the boots up in the Mirror Ledge in the graveyard, while saiontea was the first to the mitts in Left Side Swamp, and that really influenced the Dark World routing early on in a way that was actually, for me, very, very interesting. I really enjoyed sort of the middle hour of this race. Thought it was really kind of a compelling contest at that point, even with the early AGA 1, quote unquote early, where there's, you know, AGA 1 was absolutely in the logic of this seed. So
yeah, if you go into the spoiler log,
yeah,
which does not exist, by the way, but if you did go into the spoiler log, it would say defeat Aghanim at like Sphere 3 or something.
Interesting. I've never actually looked at a spoiler log for one of these. It tells you in the spheres what the logic progression is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really cool. I may have to go and dig into a couple of those.
That's where I got all my data from. I didn't go crunch what sphere everything was. It's already there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that makes me I don't know, feel worse that I haven't done it, but also feel less terrified of you as sort of an awesome data analyst. I don't know, but it's good to know.
All right.
And it looks like saiontea is trying to join us. may or may not have some mic issues that are getting worked out, but hopefully he's able to get those worked out and get in here and chat with us. But definitely, again, GG to saiontea, and congrats on moving to 4-0. If you haven't yet, and you want to see more content like this, because these runners have put on quite a show, feel free to go give those runners a follow and show them support with a follow on Twitch. I've been very impressed by both of them today, and like Dr. Bobtastic mentioned early on in our casting of this race, relatively unknown runners in the community early on in this tournament, and so I'm sure would absolutely be, stoked for some more folks into them and their exploits and accomplishments in A Link to the Past Rando. I guess capttenneal has been doing it for about 1.5 years already, and saiontea 8 months of experience under his belt. So both runners pretty well established, and I look forward to seeing them continue to progress. And we're back to hammer strats on Vidi, taking one to the face.
Yep. So it looks like our winner saiontea is having issues with Discord and won't be able to actually join us today, but well played once again.
Now let's get another blue potion down.
If saiontea decides to come join us in chat and answer questions that way, that would be fine. Otherwise, we will just follow capttenneal to the conclusion of this exciting race.
Yeah, there we go. First try, Fighter Sword Vitreous, and just a piece of heart. A little bit of what looked like a frustration hover, or just a bunch of dash mashing for that red pendant, but that was a cool fight. Yeah, Discord can be a real bugger sometimes with mic settings, so unfortunate saiontea won't be able to join us. But again, GG, congrats. Hopefully he will come and join us in the at least in the chat and give us an opportunity to
I see him right
questions.
there.
Oh, cool. Well, welcome saiontea to the chat. Sorry the mic didn't work out, but we are excited to watch capttenneal finish this up. Looks like
He's going back to finish Ice Palace. He got
Okay.
the lamp the flute and pieced out.
Mm-hmm. Might be headed for 100% seed.
So, saiontea, you had probably play of the game today with the whole. So everybody, both of you cleared out most of the light world at around the same time, and you decided to fake Flipper to Zora and check Hobo along the way. Your opponent decided to just go there the old-fashioned way, and so your opponent ended up doing Aga 1.
Yeah, and
to sequence break around it.
Yeah, to that branch point, to the save and quit from the things that kind of brought you back completely to unity in the seed, you were 19 seconds ahead. But when capttenneal went and made the Aga play after having missed on the Hobo sequence break, that's what really broke open the lead. But it was a very tight race early and a very good race. So thank you for the show.
Now, capttenneal, it looks like they decided to leave Ice Palace, remembering there's this whole Smith chain to do.
All right, and we know this is going to pay off not with the bow, but with the mushroom,
which will lead
and
to the bow.
And then the bow. But this is what capttenneal needs to do, and so this will get them back on track to finish up the seed. And actually, we have on saiontea's screen the sort of total stats. I missed a lot of the stats, but the item collection rate 173 of 216. That shows kind of just how trolly of a seed this one was, how thorough saiontea had to be to finish this one up, and still cutting 2 hours by almost 7.5 minutes or 7.25 minutes there. Really nice item collection rate overall in terms of getting through all those locations so quickly.
Mm-hmm. I certainly couldn't pull a 173 with a 152.
No. I think I'm looking at like 2-hour seeds a lot of the time, and I'm looking at like 160 collections. So saiontea, like I was highlighting all through the race, really, really good routing, really efficient way of just ticking all the boxes. Didn't have the flute early, didn't have the boots early, but still was able to rack up quite a high collection rate.
I'm surprised that wasn't a
time.
mirror bonk.
It was darn close. But capttenneal already has that flute ready to go. Sees this incoming mushroom. Not that he was already menued to it or anything. Oh. And he's got the read. He's going around Hyrule just murdering people in the light world, though. First the hobo, and now our poor sort of lockpick outside of desert.
First the hobo, now the actual bow.
There it is. See if we get more. Oh, more blue potions. Okay. I thought we were gonna get more slashes, but no. The witch's shopkeep was nice, but wait, he was there capttenneal was there like 3 times, and this person never thought to say, "Hey, you want a bow?"
I mean,
looks like you need a bow.
If you don't have the goods, they're not going to offer the services.
They won't show you the goods to
Correct.
entice you to bring the mushroom back.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be the best business model, but they do what they do.
This guy's a frequent customer. This is not good service.
So does the witch tell you, bring me the mushroom and I'll make you some powder in the game?
She says something like double bubble toil and trouble making mushroom brew I am.
Oh, okay. So that's
I think is the quote. Something
that's not
to that
specific
effect.
enough to where I would think, well, you got to be able to tell me what's on the mushroom from talking to the witch. But no.
No, and capttenneal going for the rare third spawn there in the Stalfos room in the middle under the pot.
I think maybe he just accidentally was facing down instead of right.
Yeah, I get weird inputs in that room all the time. I'm throwing pots every which way. It's a disaster. But with the bow, gonna be able to finish up Eastern here, and we'll be getting that 7th crystal. And barring the need for a sword upgrade, very nearly go mode, and very nearly Ganon's Tower. I'm curious to see what sort of quick kill capttenneal goes for here on the Armos Knights. If we're going to see another top right, or if we're going to see a bottom right quick kill.
To be fair, I don't even know the bottom right one. The top right one is the one I was trying to learn first.
Same. I only ever learned top right. I didn't learn bottom right until I was frustrated with how badly my Ice Armos fights were going. And looks like we're getting another top right, and a little, maybe 1 pixel too far to the right, and that's how tight that strat is.
And there's Brian.
And that will send capttenneal straight up to Ganon's Tower. I think. Could still go looking for a sword. saiontea did have us a little debated, went and checked some stuff over in the Mire area, but capttenneal's already definitely cleared Mire.
Yeah, so he's just going to go straight for GT.
Mm-hmm.
We know he's going to find the big key before he finds the first sword. Do you think he tries to go upstairs immediately? I doubt it.
I would. I mean, that would have been my play, and I would have probably gotten punished for it because I would have gotten the Master Sword up there. I would have been on Master Sword Silverless.
Yeah.
So my line would have been go up Ganon's tower, or go up Upper Ganon's tower, get through to the pyramid. If I have to, I mean, if I'm still without a sword,
I mean,
maybe
you
consider
don't
coming
really
back.
want to have to go back
But
up
you
Death
don't want to have
Mountain
to
to
come back
find
to Ganon's
GT.
tower, though. That's really bad.
And since there's so many locations just kind of along the
Mhm.
way, like the way that seed worked out, I would have ended up going left side. And so I would have gotten the big key there, and then I think I would have just kept going until I hit Ice Armos. And at that point, I might have skipped right side, just gone up. But I would have had the sword already, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah. Let's see. You have what? 4 locations in Upper GT?
Mm-hmm. So it's equal to right side, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I mean tile room, but tile room's not a thing.
Yeah, we're not just checking tile room looking
I
for
actually
a sword.
think tile room is guaranteed to be a small key in this particular instance.
I have no idea how you arrived at that.
So I think we found only 2 others in the first, 9 locations.
Okay.
There has to be 3.
That's I definitely don't know GT key logic that well.
I've been
I know I
working
knew
on
one
sort of a meta route
Yeah.
that takes
I can
into
tell you
account
put
the
some
number of
work in.
keys you find.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all of these very interesting facts that you've deduced and figured out about the logic, because it's sort of very small nuanced stuff that is also highly useful.
Yeah, I don't want to give away all my secrets, but I'm doing it anyway.
That's the academic in you.
You are correct.
And unfortunately, a fall in the hole, we're going to have to wait for the torch. So shout outs to Half Magic.
Indeed.
And staying clear of the pit this time. We are through. Half Magic again. Just gonna destroy these Gibdos with fire. Oh, that one lived.
Yeah, it actually kind of hit the wall there.
Yeah, I guess we got the railing and... Oof. Okay, now kill it with fire. Kill it all with fire.
We got the double shot.
Yeah.
I really hope capttenneal does not go full right side.
Yeah, I hope not. But I was going to say, I had my first experience the other day with quarter magic, and let me tell you, that is a heck of a thing. Yeah, that's a heck of a thing. You can fire rod everything, and it's insane. So I'm really glad that quarter magic is no longer available in these, because it's just completely overpowered.
Yeah, that's pretty much the case. If you ever feel like playing easy mode and getting yourself some quarter magic, have fun.
Yeah, I've never tried easy mode, but it was in a beta of something else that's based on V7 logic or something that had quarter magic in it. And I was wandering around, sure enough, there's quarter magic. I said, I'm getting that. But there's the big key. Now is the decision point for capttenneal. And looks like the mirror is not out, so I think we are going to see the silvers and or the tempered sword get found.
Yeah, so just going ahead and noticing, by the way, I just noticed the stun drop is vanilla today.
I'm shocked that I didn't notice that at any point.
I mean, I just saw that from the skeletons there.
But yeah, when you stun an enemy, with the boomerang or hook shot, they will drop an item not of their prize pack, but instead a fixed prize for all enemies across the entire seed, and it's randomized per seed in the randomizer. And so here, it happens to be the green rupee, which is also what it happens to be in Vanilla: A Link to the Past. So, cool observation.
Oh, never mind. It didn't have to be a small key for the tile room.
Yeah. Not only is your appreciation of the logic more robust than mine, your ability to observe how many keys were found and keep track of that tops me. So
yeah, the only reason I do that is because that's what my algorithm is based on.
All right, there we go. Master Sword, silvers.
I was afraid he was gonna pick up that sword and be like, "Oh yeah, there we go."
Yeah. Still looking for silvers or another sword upgrade. You definitely grab those last two once you're already in that room. So, looks like capttenneal and saiontea both going to make basically that same play. And good sniping that anti-fairy there, getting that health refill with the powder. Choosing to take the kind of safe over the blocks route through that room rather than just kind of walking along the spikes like a lot of us do. And cool Mimics 2 strat there, firing down and then walking the second one up to kind of meet him.
Yeah, that worked pretty well. I still haven't really figured out a strat in that room that I like. Like, it's all bad. All of it is bad.
I can get good times on Mimics 2, but I don't like any of the strats. And I say good times, they're good times for me. They're probably bad times. And yeah, these red Zazaks, just given the business, they take 2 hits, so you hit them once and then they get angry at you. They don't actually, they just wander around, kind of like the Stalfos do, except they don't jump away. But it feels like they get angry, because they spit fireballs of rage. And looked like capttenneal was trying to hit that one into the spikes like you were talking about earlier. Just came up a little short. Fire rod strats in this last room. If you enter and fire a fire rod strat immediately down...
yeah, I think it's guaranteed to hit the skeleton dude.
Yeah,
at the very least, it will hit the back wall and then get splash damage.
Yeah, I feel like I've messed it up once, but I'm pretty convinced that that was my fault and not a deficiency in the strat. Usually it's user error, with me at least.
Now that being said, I'm very, very cautious of my magic, so I almost always use arrows instead. Unless I'm really low on arrows, in which case, you know.
Yeah, but just under half a meter of half magic. I mean, capttenneal is good to go the whole way through this. Might need to do some lamp strats in torches up here, but...
You can either do lamp strats or you can just grab the refill in the next room.
Well, I think grabbing the refill in the next room is... I guess actually not necessary, but... I was talking about for this room, just... I don't think there's enough to do the 4 fire rod shots, even using lamp strats here.
I think if you're over a quarter of the bar, you're good. Because with half a bar, you can do the 4 lamps with normal magic.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, then this actually is kind of a luxury refill. Even without going to lamp strats here for this room. I always look and just see not a lot of magic left in the bar and grab that refill.
Yeah, that seems incredibly fine. All right, so Captain Tennille is going to head to the next part of this dungeon, going to pick up those chests along the way, and so I imagine we'll be seeing another Tempered Sword fight. Unless for some reason he, out of spite, doesn't pick up the last chest.
Incoming Hover Moldorm too. Just
out of nowhere.
Yeah, just straight out of nowhere. And oh, we don't have an Angry Moldorm. Good. I thought we were getting a.
Now we do.
A Rage Worm, and there it is. Oof. Moldorm, too angry today.
Too fast, too angry.
Yeah, when I get here with Hammer, or with Master Sword, I like almost always just audible over to Hammer Moldorm, because then I can never put Moldorm in that enraged state on this weird platform. I don't know if that says more about how bad I am at Moldorm, or out of my respect for Moldorm, or what, but...
Is anyone ever really good at Moldorm?
I've seen some players with really, really impressive Moldorms, and there it is, testing it out. Got that Tempered Sword. Making sure it works, and gonna be ready to use it on Ganon here in just a minute once we get through Geometry Wizard.
I like it.
Geometry Wizard sounds like a game I would have played on a Mac in like 5th grade. Along with like Math Blaster.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I would have loved the heck out of Geometry Wizard. It would have been like my favorite.
See, now I just need to make a game called Geometry Wizard. This just needs to happen.
It's just Aga 2 fights for days.
Oof. Captain Tennille getting turned around a little bit there.
Yeah, and oof. Hopefully they don't desync too badly. Okay.
Oh, come on!
Wow!
You got robbed.
Savage.
All right, there's a double.
Jerk mode Aga. Yeah, that second clone is just... It's gone. Okay, good. We're through Aga 2. Wow. Nothing coming up Millhouse today, unfortunately, for Captain Tennille here. That Aga 2 just putting a cap on what has really been an arduous seed, so props to Captain Tennille for all the persistence, fighting through a rough set of circumstances, and gonna give us the Ganon fight we all wanted here, a silver Tempered Sword fight. And fittingly, a music reference from Ganon there.
I am going to go ahead and refrain from doing my Sting impression.
I don't even have a Sting impression, so we're safe for today. Cape strats here on Phase 2. A really nice way, especially with half magic, to try and speed up this fight. Good heads-up play from Captain Tennille.
Yeah, cape strats are always fun.
Yeah, one thing I saw the other day that I thought was really clever and hadn't clicked for me because I'm clearly not good at innovating in this game, is with the knowledge now that we have about grabbing a wall and preserving magic usage while Cape is active. As soon as the fire bats start to go, just grab onto the wall. I hadn't thought to do that.
Oh yeah, huh?
And it was a great way to preserve magic meter in that part of the Ganon fight with Cape.
That is a perfectly valid strat. So we did get the torch glitch here. That's pretty cool. We've got just a couple more. No, just the one arrow, and that's going to do it. Captain Tennille finishing it off. And I think we may have already been joined by Captain Tennille here in the chat.
Yeah, Captain Tennille finishing up quickly and hopping right on in. So welcome to Captain Tennille, who's finished now with an official speedracing.tv time of 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 18 seconds. GG, Captain Tennille.
Yeah, GG. That was rough.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was...
all the choices I made were just bad. And when I found the pearl on Hobo, I was already I thought I was way behind, because I usually fake flipper if I have the pearl, but if I don't, I'll save it. And then, of course, there it is. So I thought I was way behind already.
You were a little bit behind. Your opponent did, in fact, make the fake flipper over to Zora play.
Yeah, so basically at that save and quit, before you and saiontea had to choose to go to Zora, you were 19 seconds behind at save and quit. And you went on the land route, and saiontea went down to fake flipper and did break into the pearl. So the consternation slashes that you delivered to the Hobo when you found that moon pearl were well earned.
Yeah, like I said, I was all flustered from there on out. Then forgot all about the blacksmith, obviously.
Yeah, and I mean, I couldn't blame you for doing the Meyer play at that point. It was a perfectly fine play, and you thought, I'm just looking for the bow. There's plenty of items over here. Let's go look. Unfortunately, it just didn't turn out to be the case.
No, like I said, a lot of poor choices by me in this story.
Well, you did have a few very nice things as well. You were by far the first person to find the boots. Finding those in the graveyard ledge, that paid off pretty well. The good old when you made the pod dip. So you recognized that pod was bow locked at that point a little before your opponent did. Your opponent actually did the hammer yump into the dark maze and all that mess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so those were two really nice plays. saiontea on Dark World Access, after Hype Cave, kind of went right into Swamp and found the mitts over on left side, while you went up and around without mitts and found the boots. And so it was kind of which of those was going to lead you into the progression for a part. And see, it was actually very interesting to watch, because you kind of embarked on those journeys at a couple minutes apart, but we got to watch them happen in parallel. And so it was actually really interesting. And like Dr. Bobtastic highlighted, the heads up play in pod saved you some time, and then you also saved a little bit of time in ice, kind of dipping out when you got that flute. saiontea had full cleared ice.
Okay. It was nice, all the sword upgrades in Ganon's Tower and Pedestal too, so that was fun.
Yeah, that fighter's sword everything is not the most fun thing in the world.
But all right, well, thanks for commentating and sticking around for that extra time for me forgetting a simple item, but I appreciate everything.
Oh, no. Oh, it was absolutely very interesting, watching how you battled through, kind of figuring out where everything was and piecing it all together. So, congratulations on finishing and going to 3-1 at this point, still in very good standing to have a shot at playing to 5-2 or better to advance to brackets. So looking forward to seeing more from you. At least 2 more rounds of meaningful A Link to the Past matches for you. So there's a lot downstream in the tournament that could be really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So just try not to get as flustered like I did, but it's all right. It was still fun. I just wanted to finish at that point after me and Vitreous had some things to say.
Yeah, you clearly had needed to have words with that particular eyeball.
Yeah, that, again, just nothing but admiration for the persistence in fighting through it. So thank you for finishing that seed. It was really nice to be able to watch you go through and complete the race.
Like I said, thanks again for commentating, tracking, all the viewers and everyone putting this on. Hopefully next week I'll play a little bit better.
I look forward to watching next week. So thank you for dropping by and giving us the interview, and best of luck in the rest of the rounds.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So with that, I want to go ahead and thank once again our tracker Wolflink 0370 for taking care of business here today, and also all the people in the background making these speed gaming streams work. And of course, to my co-commentator, Maniacal, thank you very much for putting up with my shenanigans.
Get out your brooms. I love the shenanigans. So I think that this was a lot of fun. Thank you for letting me join you, Dr. Bobtastic. I had a blast. I really enjoyed the race. So thank you also to capttenneal and saiontea for a really entertaining and great race. Mm-hmm. Again, if you enjoyed it, feel free to go give the runners a follow, show them some support on Twitch. And also, thanks to Speed Gaming and A Link to the Past Randomizer channels for helping to showcase all of these races with over 500 entrants. That's a lot of races every week, and there's a ton of people to shout out to and a ton of work trying to restream as many of them as possible and cast as many as possible for us to all enjoy. So follow and support Speed Gaming, Speed Gaming 3, where we are right now, also Speed Gaming 2, 4, 5, and 6, and A Link to the Past or ALTTP Randomizer channels on Twitch, ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 4. With that, I've been Maniacal, joined by Dr. Bobtastic. I'll let you close it out for us here, Dr. Bobtastic, but thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Yep, it's been great, and we will see you all next time here in the Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. Bye-bye, everybody.